Assalamu alaikum, ladies, and welcome to the Balance and Thrive podcast session. This one today is entitled Stop Eating Healthy. And I want to start today with a news story. Maybe some of you heard it, maybe you didn't. But it was a story of a 20-year-old woman, and her name was Pixie Turner. This was happened a few years ago. She was told by her GP that her cholesterol levels were really high. Now, it sounds quite strange because she's only 20 years old. And she was encouraged to make small dietary changes. So she thought, okay, let me see what I can do here. So what does she do? She uses Dr. Google and she starts to look up a few things that she needs to improve in her health. But this guidance and these steps ended up morphing into becoming something more and more obsessive and more dangerous for this young woman. So she ended up cutting out meat. She ended up cutting out fish, dairy, eggs, gluten, and sugar. This is what she went on to do. Okay. And admittedly, she did this without guidance. She was doing this just by looking up things on the internet, reading what was popular and going with it. Okay. And obviously, we know how much of a minefield the internet can be. Now, even though she'd taken all these steps, you would think, okay, wow, for a 20-year-old, pretty good, right? But miraculously, these changes didn't resolve her health issues. In fact, they worsened it. Through all of this, she ended up developing anxiety and an obsession with healthy eating. And it's actually got a name. I don't know if many of you have heard of it, but it's called orthorexia. Okay. Now, others who ended up with this eating disorder, they end up reporting losing their hair, having their cycle stopping, and developing depression, not to mention a really bad relationship with food, because that's what overwhelm and confusion can do to you. Now, this is what going to an extreme with healthy eating looks like. And this is the reason it should be avoided. Or should it? Right? This is the question that we're pondering today. Should we stop eating healthy? Or is there some benefit to it? If you are new here, I'm Faria. I'm a health, wellness, and nutrition coach, and I specialize in circadian energy health. Welcome. If this is the first time you're joining. And stay tuned right until the end because I always include practical steps that you can start implementing straight away to help you avoid the traps of influencer health advice and really start to do something that moves the needle in your health. Okay, a short disclaimer before we start. Everything covered here is for educational purposes only. If you have a serious medical issue, please reach out to a qualified practitioner. Now, one of the main reasons why you shouldn't eat healthy isn't because it can end up as an obsession. Okay, I mean, alhamdulillah, for many people, it doesn't end up being that. But for some, it can, right? But the reason why I've stated that you shouldn't eat healthy is because diet isn't the most important thing in your health journey. And I know that sounds so weird, right? Because when anyone thinks about, oh, I need to get healthy, the first thing that comes to mind is food, right? And you heard me right, because it's not all about salads and proteins. And if this is what you are focusing on right now to get to your health goals, then you need to listen in. Now, when someone wants to lose weight, right? Or they want to feel better, or they want to have more energy, like we just said, automatically the first step that they think they need to take is to be more restrictive with their food. Okay? And they go in super hard. Because this is what we think. When we get to that point of just feeling sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, we go all in, right? And we want to restrict it all. Some people go cold turkey. And maybe it's something that you've been reading about and following and seeing people on social media go on and on about it. So you're like really amped up to give it a go. And if that's you, then I would definitely be saying to you, stop eating healthy. Because believe it or not, all that salad and all that protein and cutting out that sugar, no sugar at all, is going to be a shock to your system. And our bodies do not like to be shocked into change. Real changes require you to focus on your lifestyle first, not what's in your plate. Why? Why do I always say this? Because those habits, those behaviors, those thought patterns that you've had from very young that you may even not even realize that you are doing or saying about yourself, they are going to be there no matter what you eat. For example, if you are someone who says about themselves, hey, you know what? I'm a night owl. I do everything at night. This is me. You're going to stay up whether you are eating a kale salad or KFC that day. It's not going to make a difference because that's what you've attached to yourself as part of you, as part of your life. And that's detrimental to your health long term because we have not been designed to be nocturnal animals, right? We're not animals anyway, but we're not designed to be nocturnal. And if you're someone who is very, overly critical of yourself, you're going to behave in that way, whether you're eating avocado toast or Subway, right? You're still going to be looking in the mirror and pinching your flab and saying, oh, it's disgusting. And those things are more harmful to your health long term, more so because of the fact that you don't even consider them to be a thing holding you back. And you're going to do them every single day, day in, day out. The reason why you need to stop the focus on healthy eating, because as someone said in the chat box quite correctly, plain and simple, it's not sustainable long term. The way that we have healthy eating designed in our minds, very restrictive, very limited, not much pleasure associated with it. There's no way you're doing it long term. You know this, and I know this. And I've done it many times over in the past, and it's always ended the same. Right? You give up sugar. You stop all the junk. You give up the fizzy drinks. And it works. Initially, in that honeymoon period, it works. Because you're being that good girl, right? But then you start to notice that the scales didn't shift, right? Or your skin didn't get better. Or you didn't fit into that dress in time for that wedding, right? Or maybe no one actually noticed the changes that you made, right? No one's supporting you. And so you do the easiest thing. You give up, right? That one treat on Jumu'ah, it turns into a weekend of indulgence. And then on Monday, it's like you're standing at the bottom of Everest to start all over again. You just don't feel like doing it. So you need to stop making healthy eating about restriction and willpower. It's not going to work. Another reason why you need to stop healthy eating, because in reality, healthy eating is just chronic under eating dressed up as clean eating. It's that view where you feel in yourself that if you're not punishing yourself, if you're not feeling a little bit restricted, right, then it's not going to make a difference. If you're not feeling like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit more hungry today or something like that, you're not having that sense of like, oh, I'm really watching what I'm eating, then it doesn't feel like you're doing anything, right? And when you're in that state, it's not going to make any difference. Carbs are not going to be the enemy here. And vegetables not the gold standard. For some, healthy eating is eating as light as possible. And then you wonder why you're thinking about food all day long, right? It's a space and it's a world that has no room for flexibility or understanding that we are humans who actually seek enjoyment out of our food. That food can be celebration, and that eating doesn't just bring nutrients, but it also brings joy. It's that version of healthy eating that we actually need to leave behind. You need to stop eating healthy like it's a trend that you can tap in and out of. Because when it's like this for you, there's no consistency. It's just swinging from one extreme to the other. And then you're wondering in your mind why it is you can never get forward with your health. And as we mentioned in the session last time about willpower is something that runs out as the day goes on. It's not fixed. And we mentioned Roy Baumeister's research, and he said that the more decisions that you make, the more stress that you carry, the more you push through that fatigue that you're feeling, the less of that resource of willpower you'll have available. Okay, there's only so much of it we can use up in a day. And that part of your brain that handles self-control, long-term planning, and resisting those digestive biscuits with your tea, this area of the brain is one of the most metabolically hungry structures in the entire body. This part of your brain runs on glucose, not a spike from your junk food and from your Twix, but it needs sustainable, delivered, reliably sourced glucose throughout the day. When that glucose availability drops, this part of the brain also goes offline first. So when you put yourself on a healthy eating diet without changing your lifestyle, without really understanding what you're doing, and without really knowing if this is right for you or not right now, you will find that at the start of the day, you have all the steam. But then by the evening, those cravings kick in, and they kick in hard. And this is why, like, you'll notice in yourself, ladies, that when you have the willpower, it's there. Maybe you'll do it the first few hours of the day, no problem. But you'll notice that at the same time of day, it's gone. Maybe it's like 3 or 4 p.m., right? When you're really feeling exhausted, your energy reserves are low, and you're like, oh, I just need that coffee. I just need that tea and biscuit, right? Or maybe it's like 9 p.m. when the kids are in bed, and you're like, oh, I just want to sit down and have, some sugar. Or that you'll notice that you want to throw all levels of discipline away after a difficult conversation. Maybe it was a long meeting that you had at work. Maybe it was after battling bedtimes and tantrums throughout the day. Maybe it was the argument with the husband. Because all of these also keep withdrawing from the bank of willpower. Yeah, you remain patient. You didn't shout. You didn't scream. That took effort. That took some willpower from you, not to argue back, not to lose your cool. This is why healthy eating requires a level of flexibility rather than this tool of willpower that every plan out there demands of you. Instead of forcing yourself to eat healthy, let's build the biological foundations that reduce the need for willpower in the first place. Because the people that you see out there who seem naturally disciplined, they aren't actually using more willpower than the rest of us. They're not. They have just built systems that remove the decision making point from their lives. So they don't stand in front of the fridge at dinner time deciding whether to eat leftovers or just fruits, right? They already made that decision earlier in the day. They have a setup, they have a rhythm, they have a routine. That's part of their life now. Because it's all about decision architecture, not being raw with your determination and discipline when you've already got 20 other things that you need to be dealing with and 20 other things that demand of your energy and time every single day. So stop eating healthy and start working on the systems that help you make better choices easily all the time. And one of the most important ways to address the decision fatigue is by addressing your biology, your own body, and what it's telling you that you keep ignoring. For example, if your blood sugars are imbalanced, right? If your mitochondria is struggling, it's going to take more than just healthy eating to fix that. And no amount of you wanting it badly enough is going to be able to override that internal chemistry. So when I say stop eating healthy, I mean stop eating in a way that requires daily willpower to maintain it. Stop eating healthy in a way where you are punishing yourself. Stop eating healthy in a way that isn't sustainable long term, because that's what's going to make the difference. These short bursts of you doing these healthy eating moments, they're not going to impact long term. If you want true, sustainable long term health and impacting your health like for the next 10 years, 5 years even, then you've got to do something a little bit more different. And stop eating healthy if you believe that this is the only thing that's going to change your health. Start something else. Start these. Start eating in a way that builds the cellular foundation first, that makes willpower largely unnecessary. Right? Allahumma barik, we've had women come on the program who tell me, I need to drink 5-6 cups of tea a day. I need to drink coffee 2-3 times a day to keep me going till the evening. I have sugar cravings that are through the roof. And then they build a system where suddenly they make a conscious choice from their own selves that says, hey, you know what? I don't actually need it anymore. I can go to an event and not be consumed by having to try everything on the dessert table. Start eating in a way where you can enjoy your food and it doesn't control you. In a way that can be consistent so you actually see long-term results. Because that's what I want to have for you ladies, that you actually start seeing results. Because for many of us, we really put that effort in, but we don't see anything. And that's what makes us give up. And this is a completely different target. And it starts with understanding why healthy, as we've been sold, isn't actually delivering what it promises. And one more really important component through this as to why you should stop eating healthy is because for the majority of women who do this and try this, they're not even absorbing any of it, right? Because if you've got any digestive issues, bloating, gas, reflux, belching, all of that raw stuff that you're having, all of that increase of protein that you suddenly start adding into your diet is just going to further stress an already inflamed system. Before you think about putting fuel in the system, we need to make sure it can handle it. Because surprisingly, not everyone can eat raw salads every day or tons of protein. And this is why the foundations of health, real lifestyle shifts will always be priority number one for the women that I work with before nutrition. And this isn't a small thing. This, for many women, is the entire missing piece. So as you ladies who have been regular dedicated listeners to our live sessions, Barakallah Feekun, you know that I always like to give you ladies actual practical things that you can take away to start implementing tomorrow, right? Because knowledge is action, and it's action that actually gets you results. So if you've been eating healthy and you don't know whether it's right for you or where you should start, I want you to give these 3 things a try. Okay? So the very first thing is to eat breakfast. Okay? A lot of us, because of lifestyle, because we're busy, because we just want to get the kids fed and out of the house, we skip this. And at this meal, I want you to focus on protein and fat and don't delay it until the afternoon. Your body needs that fuel. Your body needs to be able to support your hormones, needs to give you the right cortisol rise in the morning. This isn't going to happen if you keep skipping breakfast. Okay, and it's also going to really help you with things like your cravings. So satisfy yourself in the mornings. A protein first approach also stabilizes blood sugars. Okay, it's going to also prime your digestive system for the day ahead. It's going to give the part of your brain that needs to make decisions much needed fuel. The second step is to eat your largest meal of the day in the afternoon, not at night. Many of us, we view this lunchtime period as like a snack. Or I'll just have a cup of tea. Or I'll just eat an apple, right? It's just something light that's going to keep me going until dinner. But your body is primed for digestion earlier in the day, not at night. By the evening, your body is already winding down, even if you're not. It's preparing for restoration and rest, and it doesn't have the capability for strong digestion. Fuel is most needed during the day, right? Naturally, we are moving around more during the day and we are slowing down towards the evening. Same with your body. And just this simple shift can do away with like evening snacking or midnight munchies. Step number 3. Slow down. Slow down at meal times. Sit down. Try this for your next meal, whether you're going to be having your lunch or your dinner next, ladies. Sit down. Okay? Not standing halfway up the surface, hovering over the kids while they're eating with your plate in your hand. No, no. Sit down. Say Bismillah. Right? Feel a sense of gratitude for what you're about to enjoy. Take a deep breath. and chew each bite properly. Just this small step is going to help the digestive system before the food even hits the intestines. And that can contribute to at least 30% improvement of digestion. Just a small step before. So give it a go, inshallah. There's 3 steps for you to try. Implement them. See how your eating shifts and share with me how you got on. Now, if something here resonated with you, share it with someone who truly believes that healthy eating and only healthy eating is the missing key in their life. Look after your energy, ladies, and your energy will look after you. Be proactive with your health, not reactive. Barakallah feekun, and I will see you at the next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.